What's up, Instagram people? What's going on? It's your girl Martine Myers here. We're going to start with the Martine Show. It's 8 p.m. EST. And tonight we're going to have Zaida Lisa with us. As I stated before on our reels, Zaida really does not need an introduction. She is super, super hot, very pepped up. So by all means, just be ready to embrace her as she comes on. Once again, the Martine Show is all about self-love. Self-love journey all the way. That's what we talk about here. It's about self-awareness, self-development, and everything social. Everything that we discuss comes straight from the guests, and the conversation flows as is. The questions that are asked are all intuitive, based on the vibration and the mood that occurs right here on the show. Nothing is rehearsed. We just go with the flow. All right. Nancy is here. What's up, Nancy says 27. That's one of the Mamas a Cocktail Hour podcast ladies. Mama's Cocktail Hour is already here. You guys know that Zaida is one of the mamas on Mama's Cocktail Hour as well. So yes, they're here for Zaida Love for sure. I can see that. And I'm definitely looking to be in conversation with Zaida. One thing I have to say about Zaida is that her reels on Instagram are very vivid, and her approach is very vivid also. Full of love by all means, but she's very peppy. And there's a lot of zest that comes out of Zaida with love. So just wanted to be sure that I reiterate that for you guys, that it's going to be super hot. So just be ready if you need to get something to drink or whatever to cool yourself down. By all means, it will be necessary because Zaida is hot. Okay, Zaida is hot. We already know, we can tell that she is pretty, pretty hot. Hi, mamas. Another mamas. Mamas Elise Nicole is here. Welcome aboard. Thank you so much for your support. I really love all the support from all of you guys. Very, very nice. And Nancy, we do look forward to having you on board as well. Just let me know when you get ready. Don't be shy. So let's see where Miss Zaida is for today. She's probably in the powder room getting her makeup done or something, to tell you the truth. I just sent her an invite. Or she's probably getting her hair done at the last moment. You never know. Last fitting touches. So while we're waiting, I want to let you guys know that I'm in New York area by all means, and I voted today, So just wanted to let you guys know about that. What's up, Miss Zaida?
Hello, what's up?
Zaida Lisa, guys, in the house.
How are you doing? I was actually on, but I was on Mama's Cocktail Hour main.
Oh, that was you. You should have told me that it's Zaida. I'm here. So
Yeah,
I would have I
put
could have
it.
picked you up from there.
I don't know. Maybe you missed it because you were talking, and I put it Zeta. But
Oh, I didn't see that, love. I had no idea. Okay, no problem. I'm so sorry about that. I'm
no,
so sorry about that. So, hello, Carmen. Thank you for joining us. We're interviewing Miss Zaida Lisa, who's with us today. She is one of the super hot mamas at the Mama's Cocktail podcast. Okay. And she's going to be talking about self love. Everything they talk about when it comes to the Mama's Cocktail podcast is derived from self love, which is perfect for my platform. So, I definitely look forward to having this conversation with Zaida and see what we can get out of her. Okay. So, Miss Zaida Lisa, go ahead and introduce yourself. and then we take it from there.
My name is Zaida Lisa, and you are giving me way too much credit calling me hot. I'm like, girl, what? I'm just real.
Girl,
No, I was like
we
getting
just
all
look at you and that's it. You know.
that's so funny. But my name is Zaida, and my Instagram name is Zaida Lisa, which is actually my middle name, so that is my full name. And I am a proud member of Mama's Cocktail Hour. It was a podcast that we started during COVID. It's about 4 dope women who finally are moving towards their purpose. So it's been a journey because we're mothers, we're wives, we have 9-to-5 jobs, and then we love conversing. We love the podcast realm. We love meeting new people. So it's just been such a journey of like self-development that I'm like in awe. I really am.
Well, it's really peculiar to me that your podcast is all about self-love, all about self-awareness and self-development, because my show is all about that. Like, we're just right on the same rim, which is like unbelievable, you know, to just have it like parallel to each other like that. I just love it. And there definitely is a need for the type of conversations that you guys post on Mama's Cocktail, the podcast, and definitely a need for more self-awareness, more self-development at all times, because that's what 2020 was really all about.
Facts.
Okay.
All about self-development. They all say, like, if you didn't get yourself a business in 2020, then you're not a real hustler. You're not an entrepreneur. It's not in your blood, because it was such a year of reflection that, like, you had all this time to sit back and think and just, like I said, reflect. And if you didn't do anything with that time, that's sad. That really is.
And when we say business, I mean, there are many different ways to go about it, though, because, you know, when you say business, there are some people like, oh, you know, I really don't see myself in that realm. But at the same time, like, I mean, I took over video, you know, I needed to be seen, I needed to be heard, and my messages needed to be loud and clear. So I dabble on many different platforms that allowed me to create short videos, and then went towards YouTube and just kept doing my thing all around, not thinking about anything, but I just stayed within the realm of my project, which was self-love, self-awareness, self-development. And I just kept doing that. But in due time, as you do it, those things, you could utilize them and turn them into something lucrative as you go along. You know what I mean? There are many different ways. Some people, it was, you know, they wrote books, they went into business for themselves. Some people just started cooking from home and that turned out to be a business. They started doing meal preps and all these things, and, you know, vitamins or whatever, you name it. So the thing about it is, when I just want to make clear to everybody who's maybe listening or watching, when we say business, we're not looking like for you to start like a whole enterprise, you know, mom and pop motor type business, you know, mom and pop shop, or something you could start from home. So from the computer, there's a lot of technology stuff that's going on that you could start like right off the bat, by all means. I mean, it could be a t-shirt company, you know,
I mean,
that's a business.
Podcast, because
Exactly.
and we say podcasts are the most brokest people. Like, we don't have, like, we don't, there's no money generating from it unless you start to brand, unless you
Yeah.
start to develop that. So that is actually the stage that we are in currently. We are starting to brand. We are starting to say, okay, how do we develop a business? And that's what I mean by a business, guys, because any hobby that you love can turn into a business easily.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So I love to run my mouth. It's apparent. So
we know that.
so why not use that in a way where I can generate revenue down the line?
Yes. And that's a good thing to actually know of and actually pursue, because it's an extension of whatever business that you may have already going on or extra business that you add on. A podcast, I just had this conversation just over the weekend with a friend of mine. A podcast is an addition to whatever it is that you're doing. And if you really love to do it, like but everybody could have a podcast because everybody's talking. We talk all day long, whether we talk about something good or bad, we always talking. So why not? You know what I'm saying? There's an audience for everything and anybody, truthfully speaking. You know, when I started this, I started this just because I wanted to create conversation and really connect and engage with people. And then I zeroed it down to like, okay, what's the real purpose of it? So I came down with self-love journey because the time called for that. We need to get more into introspection, make more reflections about our lives and where are we going, what we're doing, what we all about. Right. And then afterwards, then the theme came out. So I was like, okay, self-love journey. Then the 3 things about it is self-awareness, self-development, and everything social. Whatever the guest wants to talk about, that's what we're going to dive into, and that's what it is. And then it just continued on. It started flowing. Everybody wanted to come through. They're like, I want to be on the show, whatever. I'm like, just make sure you just speak your truth, because that's all that's on here. As long as you want to speak your truth, no problem. We're here. And it turned out that I've been doing this for a year, you know, consistently. And I must say, it has been uplifting in so many ways. It has been rewarding. It has been like really a place of safe haven for me, because no matter what it is that's going on in my life, I know Tuesdays and Thursdays, 8 p.m. EST, I got to show up for my show, you know, and that's it. And I love it. And I look forward to it. So I get what you're saying about the whole podcast and what your love is for Mama's Cocktail, because I can feel it.
I talk about that one. I don't want to get emotional because every time
it's okay.
You talk about this journey, I do get emotional and I don't understand why. But no, now I understand why, because for so long, and I say this all the time on my show, because I have a show called That's Dope, and it's every Thursday at 8 p.m. And then Jazz does Tuesday Talks with Jazz, which was today. It's usually at 8, but because she wanted to be here, it was at 7. So she just got off of that platform. And then we have our Saturdays where we come together as a podcast, and the ladies will come on and we will all discuss an issue that we feel like is prevalent or that we've been discussing this week. But that's the logistics of it. But there's so much more. And when you say self-development, I can totally understand, because this person that you see, I have always been this person, but nobody else saw this but my family. To my brother, there's a couple of people that are on here who are my family supporting. They've seen this Zaida my whole life, but I hid it for so many reasons, because I was insecure about the way I looked. I was insecure about my weight. I was, you know, being a mom, being a new mom, you start to gain weight, and nobody ever saw this. So I finally got to a point in my life where I was like, yo, I'm done hiding. Because my husband would be like, yo, you're so amazing. Like, you need to let people see this. And I'm like, and this was during COVID. And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm just going to take a leap of faith, and I'm going to do something I love, and I'm going to hope and pray that, you know, something good comes from it. And there's been so, like you said, there's been so many amazing things that's come from this. I've built self-confidence. I found my humor again. I found my happiness again. I learned about myself. I learned about my good, my bad, my ugly, and what I fix, because we all not perfect at the end of the day. And I have 3 other amazing women on this platform who, as strong-minded and heavy-minded as I may be, they deal with my bullshit in and out every day, my constant energy, and they love me for the good, and then they slightly tell me about my bad in a nice way, you know?
Yes, accountability.
Right, exactly. So it's been amazing. So I can understand what with what you say by that.
Nice. So I know that Mama's Cocktail podcast started last year, 2020. Did all of you came at the same time, or whose idea was it to start this podcast?
So no, we all did not come at the same time. So it was my idea. It was an idea that I created during COVID, and then the first one on board was my best friend, and it was like, hey, do you want to do this podcast with me? And it was like a leap of faith. And the funny story is, my friend Elise, my best friend, is actually the one who came up with the name, and I hated it. She was like, Mama's Cocktail Hour, and I was like, that's not me. Cocktails, what? No. It's so funny. And then I was running it past people, and so many people were like, yo, that's a dope name. Yo, that's interesting. I like that. And then we stuck with it, and we launched in October 2020. We started doing podcasts on YouTube. So we had like the actual visual podcast. We wasn't on IG yet. We didn't know nothing about how big the IG podcast world was until we had lost a member. We had a member, and then we had lost her, and then Jazz came on during that time, and Jazz was like, yo, y'all gotta do more lives. You need to start interacting with people. People really need to see our personality on a whole. And then that was the journey. So we'll be a year officially in October.
Well, congratulations. I love the fact that you actually put it out there that you were the creator, because I did sense it highly that you were the creator, but I wanted to get the confirmation. I didn't want to jump the gun, because I was like, I know she's the creator of this. I know. I was like, I know she came up with that idea. I know it.
A loud ass was not taking no back seat, no way, no how.
Yeah. I could tell. You were just like, listen.
It's all here.
Yeah. You were just like, listen, we're going to do this, but I don't know what we're going to call it, but I know we're doing it. And Jazz says, yes, she's our fearless mama leader. Yes, I can tell. I can tell. Let me tell you, your spunk is unbelievable. Your energy is just always high. Like, I'm wondering when it's like you wonder, when does it go to a low or midway? Because your videos, your reels, I look forward to watching your reels, for real. I'm like, let me see what Zaida had on today. You know, like, everybody has their own personality, and that's what I love about the whole Mama's Cocktail, because you see each person's personality. But when we get to you, it's spunky, it's spiky, it's like hot, it's like zest and all that stuff. And I was saying that earlier before you came on. I was just like, yo, get ready, guys. If you guys need some water or whatever, get it, because it's gonna get hot in here.
Yo, this in the comments. I know she's not talking about me. She's not talking about me. I don't know, when does it ever go down? It does. A lot of times it's my blessing and my curse. I say that all the time, because the energy that I bring is the energy, and if you a friend, this same energy, I'm gonna give that 100%. And and the girls always joke like, yo, Zaida always says loyalty is above all, because for me, loyalty is important. Because if I'm a friend, I'm not a half friend. Like, I'm gonna give you everything. There's no secret that you're gonna know. There is no rock unturned. Anything that I know that is a glow up, I'm gonna let you know. You know, any gems that I know, you're gonna know those gems too, because that's the type of friend I am. And when I feel like there's like suspect, or I can't trust you, then, you know, I can take that really hard. And a lot of people do take my kindness for weakness. And that's why I say, like, it's a blessing and a curse, because I almost have the personality where instantly I can make friends with anybody. But I learned from these amazing women on this platform that I gotta reserve my energy for.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You have to protect your energy. Yeah, you have to protect your energy. I once was at a point where I was open to all, you know, and I had to retract all of that. once I came around to many different experiences that I went through. And one thing I realized is that, you pick up energy, even on social media. You pick up energy, you pick up people's energy, good mood, bad mood, ugly mood, in between mood, whatever mood, you can pick it up. And if you're not wary of it, then it could become part of your own. And a lot of times it's not like you want that to happen, but if you're not like aware, basically, it happens very easily. So once I gained the point where I had that total awareness, then I was able to pretty much guard myself and stay grounded in a way where I can do what I need to do, but not allow people to enter and invade my space, my personal space. Then I was good. But it took something. You got to give up a couple of things in order for you to get to that route. It's not just you wake up and all of a sudden it's like, oh, I got this. No. You go through tests after tests, like life tests, experiences, highs and lows, good and bad. Like,
Girl, it's a mission.
yes, it is. So tell me, with saying that it's a mission, what exactly got you to pretty much cross over, become more comfortable with yourself and other people, and be like, listen, I'm cool up to this point, or I'm good right here, or we don't have to cross over to go too far because it stops right here. Like when did you get to that point?
So, like I said, it took me having self-awareness, because
Okay.
that's important, right? So a lot of times when you're in friendships and you're in relationships, you can't see what's going on because you in it, right? So that's why you have to have real people around you that you can trust, that don't have a hidden agenda, to give you unbiased opinions. Not saying that, you're going to necessarily take it, but I
Mm-hmm.
absolutely positively trust.
Mm-hmm.
So once I was able to do that, when I know when I'm in a relationship, or I'm in a friendship that I feel like either someone's energy doesn't match what they're saying, or or vice versa, or you don't understand why someone's energy is off, right? You don't understand why someone's acting weird towards you. I can also be, like I say, I'm a blessing and a curse, because I can be a lot for females.
Oh
I'm,
yeah.
I'm gonna be 100% honest, and I
Yes.
gotta, and I always, that's one thing, guys. If you guys do not know me, I keep it real. I'm unfiltered. I'm a lot for a lot of females. I'm not their cup of tea, because I am strong-minded, I'm strong-willed, and a lot of females automatically get into defense mode when they're around me. And it's so crazy, because I'm not that type of person. Like, I don't, I'm super nice, I'm super approachable, but I'm also like no bullshit. So at the same time, like, if we good, you good, there's no problems, but like, don't try to be disrespectful, or don't try to. So I really had to, like I said, understand self-awareness and put people around me that I know I could trust. And there's been a lot of times where someone has been like, listen, that person's energy is not the best energy, Zaida. Like, you need to take a step back and realize that, yes, you have this persona where you love everybody, but you can't trust everybody. So I've gotten to that point, and that's where I am now. And that's why this journey has been amazing, because you when you're starting a podcast with an individual or anybody in a team, you don't know what's going to happen. You don't know if people are going to be able to match not only just your energy but your work ethic, because you already
Mm-hmm.
know this is super consuming. It can be, especially if
Yes.
you're a full-time mom, if you have a job. So you really have to want to do this also. There has to be a
Yeah.
love for
You have to. And one thing I have to say is welcome to the club when it comes to you're not for every woman. Okay. I know exactly what you're talking about. Okay.
But you're
Been
so,
there.
hold on, but you're so sweet. You're so approachable. Like, I don't get it. I think it's because you tough minded. I can see that.
Self-confidence is high. And the thing about it, I'm all about the truth. Like my platform originally it was given to me by source that she writes and speaks the truth. That's what my show is all about.
Mm.
Like, it's about me, my life experiences, me telling you about the things that I've written about, which is all life, okay? And then I speak the truth. So I'm going to tell you my truth, whether it's good or bad or ugly, whatever. But then
Right.
if you're going to come on my show, you're going to have to give me your truth. And because I happen to be who I am, okay, empathic, I know the truth. Whether I met the person or not before, I know whether the truth is the truth. So it's
Oh,
like,
I
so it's
think I
like I will always pick it up. I'm always gonna pick it up.
totally know what you're getting at here.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna have to break it down. We're gonna have to break it down. I hope y'all ready for this.
Go ahead, girl.
Y'all better subscribe to Author Martine's page. You better subscribe to Mama's Cocktail Hour because we about to get real right now.
Go ahead, girl.
Okay. So when we did start this podcast, it was in 2020, and like I said, I originally started with myself and Elise. After that, a girl that I used to work with, and she became a close friend, came on the podcast too. And it was, in the beginning, it was amazing. Like, it was actually great to have someone else give a different perspective. It was good because she had already previous knowledge about starting a business. She had told me that she started a business herself. And it was all copacetic, but it wasn't until I started to involve other females, where it was my cousin Nancy who jumped on board and started to help us with all of our amazing content. If you guys don't know that, everything that we do, every flyer that we put up, that is my cousin Nancy. She is the digital creator for Mama's Cocktail Hour. So she's one of our biggest blessings, and we love her. And she came on board. And at first it was supposed to be like a back end thing. And me being her cousin, I just threw her to the wolves. And I was like, yo, you doing it. That's it. No fear. Right. And so Jazz came along. And don't let me start talking about Jazz, because when she first came on board, she was a real fan of it. And I was like, well, you're a fan, you don't like, you don't comment, you don't subscribe. And I was like, you don't support. And she was like, wow, you're right. And it was her first realization to be like, wow, when I like something, I should actually support it. And nonetheless, she started giving us topics, and it was just transparent. It was like, her energy was amazing. She's so much like me. So you guys already know, we be fighting all day, bumping heads in a positive way. But she'll tell me off and I'll tell her off, and then we'll be like, okay, let's have a drink and let's talk. But so she came on board. And to be honest, when Jazz came on board, the culture kind of shifted. Because Jazz is also very strong-minded, very opinionated. So when she senses somebody's energy is off, it's very scary. Like, seriously, Jazz has she has an insight that a lot of people will, and I say that to her all the time. Like, when I'm feeling in a mood, I don't want to like call her or talk, because I know she's gonna pick it up. And sometimes she's like, oh, what happened? Well, you're not telling me. And I'm like, this is crazy that this woman can pick up my vibe. She's very intuitive. And so she, honestly, I was going through so many mixed emotions. This individual was just giving bad energy daily. And I couldn't pick up why. Like, it was like, hey, we're gonna do this, and then that person not do it. Or hey, we're all on board to be here tonight, and then that person don't show up. Or if that person did show up, they would show up with like this energy towards the other girls and not necessarily me. So at first, it was everybody around me picking up this energy. It was everybody around me being like, wow, this is weird. Like, why does this person get so angry? And
Mm.
when we're all together, and it was very weird. And you have to also remember, when you're in a relationship with a lot of girls, tight bonds just tend to happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
But what we've learned is to be transparent and to be real with your feelings. You have to, because I'm never going to know if I did something wrong if you don't tell me, right?
Yes.
I may have
Yes.
went too far in a joke that maybe you felt uncomfortable about, right? But I'm not going to
Right.
know. So as a woman, I think a lot of times we jump to assuming without asking the question, right?
Yes.
So ask the
Yes.
question, hey, I took this a little, what did you really mean by that? But a lot of women are unable to do that because a lot of women are non-confrontational,
Mm-hmm.
or they're very much in their emotions, and they want to internalize it. A lot of women don't really want a friendship. Know that. A lot of women don't
Mm-hmm.
really want to. There's not every woman that you're going to find that wants to be your friend. Some of them may want to be around you for a particular reason, right?
Yes. 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 Yes.
Buying something, whatever that may be. Maybe you're someone who always fits the bill. Maybe you're someone who's knowledgeable about certain things and they want to have you in their back pocket. So not everybody
Yes.
around you is going to be really for you. But this individual, it started to be real toxic. I gotta be
Yeah.
real. I gotta be
Yeah.
real. And there's no bad blood. Like, there's no bad blood. It just got to a point where I realized, like, this is something that I really want to do. I really want.
Mm-hmm.
For the longest time, I wanted to be a VJ. Remember when there was people on MTV and fucking
Yes.
and BET? Like, I wanted to do that. So it's like I finally, I'm living in my purpose, and this person is kind of just bringing that energy. And I had to, for the betterment of my team, and even for my moral compass, because it was weighing heavy on my soul. I was
Mm.
being like very like I was trying to anticipate everything before it happened. So
Mm.
if she said something that was a little left, like, I was trying to jump to be like, oh, she really meant, you know,
Yes.
that. I was often trying to clean up the mess. And it
Mm.
took the girls in my corner to be like, that's not a friendship. That's
Mm-hmm.
if you can't be transparent. And I've tried to talk to this individual a certain amount of times, like, listen, how can we make this work? What's really bothering you? But a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
gotta they have to have self-awareness.
Yeah.
Because if they don't have self-awareness, and I'm saying, listen, I feel the energy is off, you basically snapped at that person for no reason, and you're like, oh, I didn't do anything wrong. What are you talking about? You don't have
Right.
self-awareness. So there's nothing we can really do. I can't be in a business with someone like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't be friends with someone like that. Because for me, like I said, loyalty is everything. And a lot of times people break that trust, they break that loyalty. And I'm the type of person, like, I'm too grown for drama. I don't wish this person that used to be on my podcast, that's what we're talking about, I don't wish them any harm. I actually,
Mm-hmm.
I love them like a sister. I loved her like a sister. And I wish her
Mm-hmm.
no harm. I wish her all the best. It's just, I had to know my energy, and I had to know who I was, and I had to take a step back. There was no rah rah guys, and that's real. There was no, like, because you already know, if I cursed her out or something, I would have said it. There was no rah rah. It was just like, hey, that I had sent her a text message saying, listen, there's been a lot of confusion. I actually wanted to talk to her. I was like, hey, I think we
Mm-hmm.
should meet and have a conversation. She dodged me like twice. I reached out to her twice and was like, hey, we need to have a conversation about mamas and about us. She didn't want to do it. So I'm now fighting for a relationship that I no longer am even feeling comfortable in. And I was like, she's not trying to fight for this relationship or friendship or whatever ship we had. Okay. And it's so funny because I know she, like, her. I know that you
Mm-hmm.
guys, are either business associates or colleagues. And like I said, I would never ever say anything bad about her. I'm just telling my truth, you know. And
Mhm.
everyone's gonna say, yo, there's three sides of the story. There's her side, and I'm just speaking my truth. That, you know, I really did love and care for this person, but you can't. I also can't push something either.
Right.
So
It's
it
really interesting. It's really interesting what you're highlighting on, because I'm glad that you actually highlighting on it, because these are things that happen not only in women to women relationships like friendships, but it also happens in relationships overall, like
right,
men and women in heterosexual relationships, like any type of relationship. You know, a lot of times, like from the very beginning, sometimes it could be a miscommunication. Like there was
right,
something that was misunderstood, something that might have been unclear from the very beginning. Because sometimes you get into something and it's like, well, I thought it was this, but apparently what I thought was not actually so, you
right,
know? And that happens a lot. Because the thing about it is this: when we present ourselves to like someone or a project or like a whole new deal, right? Business or whatever, we present ourselves the way that we are. At the time that that person might have presented themselves, they might have been engulfed in anguish, frustration,
right,
anger, fear, confusion, all that stuff. That's the part that we don't know about, because those are all background things. Unless the person tells you, listen, I'm having this situation in my household, I'm having this situation in my relationship, you're not going to know,
right.
you know? And as women, we mask that very well. Okay,
Yes,
we mask that very well. Okay, you know, we have, like, I would say, a sort of it's a gift and a curse, basically, how we can actually mask that, like really hide that part of our lives, you know.
yep,
And it's a natural thing. It's part of like being strong, nurturing, upholding everything, you know, all the p's and q's together, and being strong for other people as well. You know what I mean? That's just part of women leadership. So those things, it's just, I'm glad that you highlighted on it, because it happens all over the place. It happens in all relationships, but at the same time, it could just be one simple little thing like a misunderstanding, miscommunication, or sometimes it could be literally that the vibes don't mix, you know?
and in this case, I don't think the vibes didn't mix. I just think that once the situation changed, it made her feel uncomfortable.
Right, right. You see, like we said, a change in a situation
A change
occurred.
can make someone feel uncomfortable. But again,
Yeah.
I'm telling this story not for clout, not because I wanna in any way shame this person, or talk about this person. Anything that I say now, I would be able to say to this person. But I think that, like I said, at the end of the day, it had to do with it. A lot of that stuff comes with self-confidence, and a lot of women don't
Mhm.
understand that, right? If you get in a room with another woman and you instantly ball up and you curl and you feel like you need to be, because a woman is either prettier than you, or you may feel like a woman is smarter than you, or she has better hair. If you ball up and you turn that anguish into aggression, you have to really take a look at yourself and say, what
Mhm.
do I not like about me that I'm willing to, on a woman that I do not know from a hole in the wall, automatically sit there and judge her, or hate on her, or or have something bad to say, or be aggressive towards her. That has a lot to do with your self-confidence. That's why I say in this
Mhm.
platform, I have been so liberated, because I've been like, yo, why am I hating on another woman? What is that doing for me? Because let me tell you something. Your platform, nobody's gonna ever be you. No one is gonna have your
Yes.
smile. No one's gonna have your amazing intellect. Nobody's gonna have that, and nobody's ever gonna be me. You know what I mean? So why would I hate on you for your amazingness? Why would I hate on you for what you're doing that's amazing? Dope? If I do that, then I have to really reflect on myself and think about my self-confidence. But again, if you don't have self-awareness and you're not taking a step back to be like, yo, it's not the other person. maybe it starts with me. And I'm not saying, guys, like, oh, she's trying to say that she, it wasn't once it wasn't her fault or whatever. I'm just saying, like, a lot of times, I know there has been times in my friendships with these ladies, things have gotten hot and heavy. We a podcast of 4 women. I would be saying you're lying if I didn't say that there's a lot of times that there's some disagreements going on. We're like, oh, I don't agree with that, or I would be lying. But I know I have women that I can trust, that are loyal, that if for whatever reason I'm having a bad day and maybe I snapped at one of my friends and said, oh, goodbye, that she's not going to be like, well, let me be vindictive. Let me go behind her back and do. If I have to worry about you doing that, you're not my friend. You understand? Like, there has
I
to.
totally get it.
You're not my friend, and if I can't trust you, I don't want you around me. That's the
Right.
that's where I am in my life right now. Is that
I totally get it. I totally get it.
Around that I can trust, that I love, and I authentically want to be around.
Right, right. And you know the thing about it too, there are a lot of situations we get into, and it happens to all of us, men and women.
Right.
We never really know when we are about to go through a lesson.
Yes.
We don't know until we're in it. And when you're in it, if you're not wise enough, if you don't have enough self-confidence, you're not up in that self-awareness, you're not fully developed, you're still unstable or imbalanced, I would say, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, then you will not be able to understand that you are en route for a lesson. Okay. The automatic thing that will come to you is that I need to pull away. And at times, it doesn't mean that you need to stay in it, because everybody cannot go through the fire. But at the same time, the whole thing is that, okay, I went through it. It didn't work out. Now, what did I learn from it? What did I pick up from it? What is it that I can take from there and implement elsewhere?
Right.
Okay. Because everything is not going to work out. This doesn't happen that way. However, there is a lesson that was taught, and it's to wonder, like, if the lesson was learned, and it's on both sides. It's not just one side. It's always on both sides, and as long as you're able to depict that lesson, like, what did you pick up? What did you learn? What was your takeaway? Then you could say, like, the mission is accomplished.
Right.
As long as you know what your lesson was. And that's the way I look at things, when things don't go my way or whatever it is, there was always a lesson learned. There was always a point of self-development that I had to acquire, and everything is done for a reason. Right. You don't know when you're reaching another, like, level until you get there. And you don't know who they're going to send before you for you to be tested to reach that next level. You never know.
Preach.
Until you get there and you look back and you're like, oh, snap. Like, I see why Zaida was sent to me. I see why we argued. I see why I couldn't stand her guts, because she had to teach me something.
Right.
I had to pick up something from her.
Right.
And at the same time, it's vice versa too. Because both people could be on a learning curve, but it's a matter of both people acknowledging that they're actually learning from each other and appreciating the fact that, you know what, I really don't like your guts. I can't stand you at times. But truthfully speaking, there are times you say things that I could be like, oh, okay, I could see why. I understand. But it takes a whole lot. And it takes a lot that you have to give up also for you to be able to make those realizations.
Yeah, absolutely. And, like I said, I grew from it. I was extremely hurt by it, because for me, when I do have a friend, I do love hard, and I invest. Not, like I said, I didn't just invest in me. This person invested in my kids. I have a 3-year-old, now 4-year-old, so I had to explain to a 3-4-year-old the situation. So,
Yeah.
like I said, it was, it's a tough situation to kind of be in. But
Right. Right.
um, I learned I learned a lot about myself during that interaction because
Mm-hmm.
I have always been the type of person who likes to fix. I like to fix everything. If my friends are bickering, I'm going to be the mediator. If someone is not getting along, I'm going to be the one running back and forth saying this person didn't really mean that. This person really meant this. Because I'll tell you, a lot of these interactions weren't even about me. It was with other individuals. It was with other
Mm-hmm.
girls. And I was just the person keeping everybody together. So I had to really sit back and be like, yo, why? And then when the energy did turn to me towards the end, I was like I said, I was really trying to pick it up. I was like, okay, I need to take a step back.
Yes.
And
Well, one thing I will tell you from experience, being the mediator, it has its pros and cons. I used to be a mediator
oh,
all the time, growing up all the time. And let me tell you, it ripped up my energy to the point where I've had numerous breakdowns and my energy was basically being used and overused,
right?
totally like deplenished, totally like to rock bottom to the T, where I got sick because my energy went plummets. Okay.
God.
Being the pacifier, it has its pros and cons, but you can't be the pacifier all the time. Like you can't be the mediator all the time. And you have to allow people to basically become aware and self-develop themselves within the chaos as well. Because
Right,
you have a lot of other things that you have to take care of.
right.
You have to take care of yourself, your family, and all this other stuff that you have. We all have responsibilities, and that's one thing that I had to learn. So from one person to another going through similar experiences, I would advise for you to basically, what you did was learn how to remove yourself from the equation,
Right.
which is really important,
And like
and
I
it's powerful too. It's powerful to be able to say that, you know what, this is it. We're going to have to make a switch around and I have to remove myself from the equation. Because once you make that decision to remove yourself from the equation, you automatically retract your energy. You take it back.
right.
And you come back to what, I'm protecting myself. I'm protecting my energy type of thing. And it's not an easy call to make, but once you get it and you see how rewarding it is, then you're like, oh, okay. And you gain it back automatically. Like it goes back up, but you have to be able to make that call and be like, you know what, let me pull back.
And that
And
was a
that's it.
tough call for me to make.
It is. It's always going to be a tough call. Always going to be a tough call. You're going to think about it, overthink about it, analyze it, and overthink it. And you're like, should I do this? Did I did the right decision? I don't want to hurt anybody. I don't want anybody to like not like me. It's too much.
It's way too much. And to be honest, that's like the first time. I'm 34, so
Mm-hmm.
it was the first time that it's really happened in my adult life, right? I'm not talking about my
Mm-hmm.
years where friends come and go and high school, and now I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about a life friend, and I don't want to, like, I've known her maybe 3 years at the most, but it was a hard pill for me to swallow because, like I said, like, I am naturally also a people pleaser. So in that situation, because it was not only just a friendship, it was a business relationship because she was a part of the podcast. It was very hard for me to make this decision. And because I am the creator of this, I knew that that was a decision that I had to make on my own. I couldn't have
Mm-hmm.
looked. I mean, the girls, of course, were supportive and they were amazing. And I mean, I even had my like breakdowns and I cried with my girls because it's very hard when you have someone that you love, but you realize like you got to step back because I need my energy for my family. I
Right.
need my energy for my business that I love so much, and I wasn't gonna allow anybody to steal that from me after I found it for so long.
Wow.
It took me a long time to find myself and my happiness.
Yes,
So
yes.
essentially, like I said, I wish her no malice, and I hope she's doing well, and I hope she's doing something that she loves. And I'm not sure if you're still like speaking with her in conversation, or I don't know if you guys are friends. I don't know the dynamic, but I did know that that she did know you. She said she knew you through business.
Okay. Well, one thing about being a people pleaser, I'm going to tell you straight up that it doesn't work.
It doesn't.
You can't, and the older you get is one thing I realize. You can't constantly please people and not be happy.
Yes.
The first person you have to please is yourself.
Always.
And that goes without saying with everything.
Yep.
Whether it be in whatever relationship you have to please yourself. And that goes across the board for everyone. Because there are people who've been people pleasers for a long time, and then by the time last year or this year came around, they feel that they've been cheating themselves out because they've been doing so much for people and they haven't done anything for themselves, or they've done minute things for themselves and too much for other people. And that's been a realization that has taken place around self-awareness for people around 2020. And the people who focused on that went through into 2021 making more realizations and really getting into more ways to change and to improve themselves. Right. So people pleasing is really a malice. I mean, you have to have boundaries. You have to set your boundaries. You can't please everybody, and you can't constantly please the same people who constantly do the same thing without any improvement.
Yes.
You can't do that. So I've been a victim of people pleasing, on my own account, that is. But right. Once I came to a point to realize that's what it really was, then I started deviating from that. It's not an easy thing to do, but when you realize that you need to serve yourself, and you really need to serve yourself better than you have been serving yourself in the past, right. Then you're going to start to remove that people pleasing thing and doing for all and being there for everybody, being the mediator and all that, the pacifier. No, everybody's an adult. Everybody can take their responsibilities. Everybody can be accountable for their own actions. And that's just the way it has to flow. And once you make that decision, all of a sudden, everything falls into place.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Oh.
And that's how I feel. I feel like everything has fell into place. And
that's good.
I'm still learning about myself. Like I said, I am, nobody is perfect. If you sit here on this platform and say, listen, you're lying. But I am blessed. Like, the women that I have on this show are amazing. We have progressed so much. And what I mean, just like on a team, being creative, learning more about ourselves. So it's been a journey. And
so one other thing I wanted to ask you,
sure.
I know there's about 4 you guys on the podcast altogether, and everyone seems to have an individual task that they take care of. Like you said, that Nancy is your digital person. She's more on the quiet side, I would say, right? Because she's really like behind the scenes. Jazz is more like a more composed person, but she has her own personal spunks, and the inside, of course, I can pick up on that. You is the creator, okay, the zesty hot person out there. Mama's Elise Nicole. She's a little more, I would say, in between, like you and Jazz, something like that. That's what I pick up, right? But have you guys ever come to a point where you not so much clash, but I know you guys have your own personalities and your own traits and all that stuff, but has there been a place where you come up with a project or something and nobody agrees at all? Was like, okay, forget it, we're going to trash this, like we're not doing this at all, next topic?
First of all, that's always me. So my nickname is trash. That's trash. I'm not doing it. Don't ask. and we're back at the drawing table. That happens all the time, all the time. So usually girls are like, so what's up? Like, what are we gonna do then if everything is trash? I'm like, let's start back again. But yeah, I mean, it's natural. It happens. I want to say myself and Jazz are the ones that bumped heads a lot. And it's because Jasmine is very passionate. She's a lot like me. She's exactly me. Of course, a little bit more reserved because she's not as high energy. But what I mean by is strong. And she's actually very, very, very funny like me. She just doesn't show that side to all of y'all. She does that. And Elise is the same way. So Elise has really been in between because she transitioned into buying a new home.
Okay.
She moved from Brooklyn to Jersey, and that was a big transition for her family. And we were still doing mamas during that. So, you know, she's been really trying to acclimate to her household and also trying to develop what she wants her brand to be. Because like I tell these girls on this platform all the time, it's not as simple as just being on a podcast, right? Because that's just mediocre shit. We looking to brands. Everybody needs to know what their niche is. And a lot of time, let's be real, it takes a while for you to find your niche.
Amen. You know? Yes. It takes something. Talk about it, girl.
So
talk about it.
A lot of these women on these platforms, like I said, amazing, amazing, amazing women, they're still developing. I still am developing myself. I'm learning things about myself every day. So we are still only a year in, folks. It seems like we got like 10 years down our belt because, you know, we so dope.
Yes, you guys are so dope. I'm glad you confirmed that.
We're really seriously at the bare minimum. So we're still trying to develop, okay, what is it that I want to portray to my target audience? What is it that I want to put across in the camera? So Elise is still trying to figure that out. You know, of course, with being a mom, and she handles a lot of our merch. She handles the website. So everyone has a task. And that's what makes us strong. That's good. That's what makes us a team.
That's good. So are you the one who named Jazz Speaks Life?
Yes.
Did I know?
Girl, don't make me cry about that. Let me tell you. Jazz, girl, this is crazy. I didn't even think this was gonna go this long, okay? You got me over here running my mouth.
We're about to end, but I had to ask you because I've been told, like, ask her about Jazz Speaks Life.
All right. So when I met Jasmine, really quickly, because I know you want to end, and I could be on here for hours.
Oh, we know, girl. You could always come back, though. The door's open.
I'll be back. But let me tell you about Jazz. So when I met Jazz originally, she was the first woman that I had a relationship with that was vulnerable. I have never seen vulnerability in a woman other than with someone that I love, like my mother or my sister. So she would, like I said, pick up on my emotions. And there would be a lot of times that because she was so just amazing and she can pick up on my emotions, that I would open up to her. And I would be like, well, look, this is what's going on, you know, and we really started to have that bond and that relationship and that friendship. And she along with Elise are my very best friends. And my cousin is my cousin. And like I said, together we all a family, us females. But Jazz, she would speak life into me. Times when I was like feeling self-conscious or second guessing myself, she would always speak life into me. And I could tell that when I told her about this journey, she wanted this so bad. She wanted mamas so bad. Like, I could see it all over her face. But I was already like with 3 girls in, and I was like, oh my God, this is already like being hectic, because I told you I was in a situation with another girl who didn't know how to be around girls. So I was like, if I bring this other strong-minded girl in here, this could be chaotic. So at first I held back and I was like, but she kept, because she's very persistent. So every day she would be like, I have an idea for the show. And did you talk about mental health? And did you talk about this? And I was like, oh my God, like this girl just, and finally I was like, yo, like, for it. And I was like, really? You would? She said, yeah, I would love to. And we were thinking about her name and it just came to me and I was like, yo, your name is Jazz Speaks Life. She was like, why? And I was like, because you speak life into people daily. You speak life into me daily. And she has been such an amazing person in my life. Elise has been such an amazing person in my life, and Nancy has been. So, like I said, like I would be nothing without these women. So
I'm so glad that I asked you that question because it really touched me. As you said, Jazz speaks life. She actually does speak life. She has spoken life into many people. I mean, even me, who I just connected through Instagram and was like, oh, okay. And I look forward to her speak outs because the things that she says, she really touches you. And I even told her the person who named you, your Instagram did you justice on her interview because I'm like, you do exactly so. So I'm so glad I got to connect with the person who did it. And
girl,
it's you.
all over the place on this interview. You had me telling you some tea that I saw you.
Let me tell you, my platform is she writes and speaks the truth, okay? Self-love journey, self-awareness, self-development, everything social, all coming from the guest. I told you, okay? You know what? It's just like coming to an Oprah show and you sit in Oprah's chair, and once you in the set, it's done. And I gotta tell everybody, I have not met these ladies. We connected on Instagram only. That's it, and the vibe just flows from there. I don't know her from anywhere, but by all means, from like to love on Instagram, here we are. So thank you so much, Zaida Lisa, for everything that you have shared. Thank you for speaking your truth by all means, being super authentic, super dope, and really speaking from your heart. We saw those tears as well. I'm sorry, but that happens on my show.
I'm telling you, I didn't expect to be crying on here, guys.
That happens on my show, and it's natural. So by all means, just be open. And I'm so happy that your support on Mamas is definitely here to be with you because you know what? We all go through this thing called transformation. We all go through good times, bad times, and ugly times. What you discussed today is nothing different from what any of us have gone through. It's nothing new. There's nothing different. There's not good, bad, ugly. There's nothing. It's just life. What you discuss, I've gone through it before. Somebody else has gone through it before. We all gone through it before. Whether it's later in our lives, early in our lives, in the middle, life crisis, whatever, it's real. So that was part of your story. That's something that you wanted to discuss, something that you wanted to clear up. And I'm glad that you had the opportunity, and I hope that it actually relieved you as well, because this is what I do. This is what it is.
I definitely, it's not like I never wanted to talk about it. I just also, I'm definitely someone who, like I said, I don't like bad energy, and I just didn't want any bad energy coming up. But I definitely told the girls that if it ever came up, I would be honest and real, because that's how I am. I'm no other way. So I appreciate you, asking me the hard questions. I'm definitely gonna say, like, you my best interviewer thus far. So I definitely love the show. I think you're amazing. I think you're dope. And I will be more than happy to come on this platform again. And you are welcome to come on Mama's Cocktail Hour so we can give you some grilling questions. Next. So be ready.
Well, thank you.
Cocktails, girl.
Well, Well, thank you so much for the invitation. I do appreciate that. We'll look into it as well. Thank you, ladies, for coming through. Nancy has something nice that she said that I want to highlight on. These ladies all impacted me profoundly. That is really, really nice. And you know what? When you really have women in your camp that you can say that actually impacted you, I think that's like the golden treasure. It's always great to be able to have those types around you because not everyone has that. And there are people who are actually looking for it. So if you do have it, please hang on tight, because they do not come naturally that way. It doesn't always happen. And if you have a very good close bond with the ones that are already around you, well, just keep cherishing it and keep it going, keep it moving, keep that vibe alive. Elise Nicole has our journey together has indeed been life-changing and eye-opening. Yes, I'm sure. And according to everything that Miss Zaida Lisa here has shared, definitely life-changing. And you know what? I love the realness of what you put out because you were not ashamed to really put out the roller coaster. This whole, because that's what life is. Life is not a plane like this. Like, it's not flat. Okay. Anybody who wants to design their life to be flat like that, you'd be like, yeah, okay. Come again. Because it's not. So on that note, I want to thank everybody in the chat room for keeping the chat pumped. Nancy says she loves this platform. Thank you so much, Nancy. I'm looking forward to your appointment, Nancy.
Oh, no.
Really looking forward to your appointment, so let me know when you get ready. And stuff. So, guys, next Thursday, we're going to have another Mamas. I'm not even going to tell you who, but you guys will figure it out. The next Thursday, 8 p.m. EST, we're going to have another Mama up in here talking about her self-love journey. So, by all means, get acquainted with these ladies. Mama's Cocktail Hour podcast on Instagram, and you could follow their individual IGs also, which I'll be posting on each of these interviews in the description. Okay, so by all means, thank you so much for sharing your love with me tonight right here. Thank you, Zaida.
All right.
And look forward to the next interview. A few months. Give us a few months. You can come back.
All right.
Okay.
Love you much.
Take care. Have a good one.
Bye.
Good night. Bye.